one, the spire of Notre Dame. Hugh Schofield, BBC News, Paris.
Let's go live to Edinburgh now. We can speak to Dr Cristina Gonzalez-Longo, architect and associate professor at Strathclyde University. Hello to you, and thanks very much for joining us. It looks like such a huge and daunting task, this, doesn't it? Just explain quite how difficult it's been.
So, architectural conservation is a very complex operation as architecture overall is, and this is a gigantic task that are undertaking in one of the most important monuments globally. So it's all starting with understanding the history of the building, because conservation only happens when you really understand the history and the significance of the building. So it tends to be heard, the technical difficulties, but behind that there is a huge amount of research involved in order to determine how actually you're going to undertake the conservation project.
So what sorts of challenges are they up against when a building has been so consumed by fire?
Well, the destruction is major. Thankfully, buildings like Notre Dame have more documentation, but still there are things that are really lost that we don't know exactly how they were. So that's when it comes to conservation, of course, we want to conserve the original with later additions as Notre Dame has. But it's the kind of forensic archaeology actually they have to do in terms of unraveling this destruction and seeing how the building was before, in addition looking at archives and other documentation.
We were just seeing them restoring the windows, the stained glass windows in the report just before we came to you. I wonder if it's going to look almost new and shiny rather than how it did before. What do you think?
Well, this is a controversial part of it. This is a remarkable project that really shows the capability of the field and the incredible professionals involved and the complexities of that. But then what I personally miss is a wider discussion in ethical terms of how you actually are undertaking the conservation. When Viollet-le-Duc and Lassus did the intervention in the 19th century, there was a report submitted to the government establishing how the approach was going to be taken, which in this case I perhaps missing, and for them was 25 years has taken the conservation work. So time is an issue, but as I say, there is an incredible amount of professionals, and they really shows what a country that invests in the field can do in a short period of time. So there is a lot to learn from that, but the approach overall is more like what we will call restoration rather than conservation. So things are going to be reinstated rather than, as we will more in the Italian approach, showing more the difference between the new and the old.
Yes, okay. Well, lovely to talk to you. Thank you very much, Dr Cristina Gonzalez-Longo, professor at Strathclyde University. Thanks.